Let's talk about how to actually get a BD job by first highlighting what I perceive to be the two most important dynamics of the startup hiring ecosystem. And this is so important to understand so that you can overcome these. The first dynamic I want to drill into everyone's head is what I call the signal to noise challenge. Essentially, there is an inordinate amount of non-technical people trying to break into tech startups right now. And guess what? A large percentage of these people are vying for those few elusive biz dev jobs. As a result of the high demand for jobs, when a company publishes an open position for BD, hundreds of people apply. I had a friend who's a founder of a pretty popular tech company in New York, and he told me within the first 3 days of publishing an entry-level BD job, he received over 300 resumes. That's insane. So put yourself in the founder's shoes or the head of biz dev shoes or whoever's hiring. While these resumes are coming in, they're still trying to run their business or do their job. It's overwhelming and often just a huge time drain to pan through all these resumes. So here's how these people deal with it. They give priority to all of the candidates that have come recommended to them by people they know and trust. Basically, what happens is their personal network acts as a filtering mechanism to really identify the candidates among that mass influx of resumes they get that they should take seriously and that they should just look at first. So as a result, all the people who have mutual connections that make introductions or recommendations to the founders or the head of biz dev or whoever's hiring often get priority for the first look at a potential interview. Not to mention, these people, because they're recommended, come in at a higher plane than people who have no recommendation. All of these things work in their favor. Another thing worth bringing up is the fact that some founders sidestep this process entirely by just not publishing job openings they're hiring for. They'll actually rely entirely on their network and investors to basically fill the roles and source candidates for their open jobs in order to just avoid the bombardment of resumes. And honestly, great companies with top tier investors can afford to do this, which is why, in my experience, and you'll often hear this, the best biz dev jobs are never published. It's just the truth. They're often sourced through an investor who knows somebody or a friend of a friend or whatever it may be. The best BD jobs, they're not on that website. The second dynamic that's important to understand is how prospective employers perceive hires who don't have much of a track record. Now, it may hurt to hear this, but you need to because I care about you. If you have no previous experience or track record, you're a potential risk. There's a risk that you won't be able to perform your job effectively, and the company will have wasted their precious time and energy investing in you. And there's also a risk that the employer will have to micromanage you. Remember, whether it's the founder of a company, the head of biz dev, all these people have their own jobs to do. Basically, when they bring on someone junior, they're looking for someone that can hit the ground running with minimal training and that they can trust over time to manage a part of the business. The last thing they want is someone whose hand they're going to have to hold the entire way and whose work they're going to consistently have to be nervous about. Why? Because this takes away from their ability to do their own job effectively. In later sections, we're going to talk about ways to limit this perception that you're a risk, but for now, I just want you to get a look at the turf you're playing on.